I have one journal that's like just like positive like serendipity moments. That's really cool. So it's like just like all the good things that happen. So whenever I'm feeling weird or like down, like I just like look through the things that happen and like instantly feel better.
Welcome to Elevated Frequencies, the podcast that gives you access to the next level of house and techno so you can explore an elevated lifestyle. When I first met Speaker Honey, it was at EDC Orlando, and she'd come into the room with these butterfly wings on. And she was like, look what I just found on the ground. And so she found these butterfly wings on the ground, and she decided to wear them for her set because it matched her vibe. And after her telling me that, and after having a conversation with her more in depth, I realized I had to have her on the podcast because Speaker Honey is one of those artists that has struck the perfect balance between being this positive, free spirit, easygoing person and incredible entrepreneur. Sometimes you meet people and they're like such a free spirit and you're like, wow, you're just kind of going with the flow, like flying by the seat of your pants. Good for you. And sometimes you meet people who are so serious. Doesn't have to be a DJ, it could be anyone. They're so serious about their career. You're like, okay, like loosen up. There's more to life. Speaker Honey is neither of those people. She is the perfect balance between artist and entrepreneur. And I really wanted to dig deeper into her brain to figure out how she's gotten to that point. And I think we accomplished that in this conversation. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy my conversation with Speaker Honey.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Just getting prepped for going to Vegas tomorrow. Just really excited. I grew up in Vegas, so EDC has always been like a really big moment for me, and I'm just really excited to get back there this week. So
that's awesome. And the last time I saw you was actually EDC Orlando. So is this is your first like Insomniac event since EDC Orlando? Have you had some in between?
No, I've been to some Factory 93 events. Like I just did I saw UMEC, Factory 93 had UMEC and Space 92 at Exchange last weekend. So that was pretty fun. But it's my like first Insomniac festival, I think, since EDC. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. So you grew up in Vegas? I don't know why I didn't know that. Well, I remember you told me you went to school in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, so I graduated college in Hawaii. I went to University of Hawaii Hilo, but I lived in Vegas from like 7 to 19. So
got it. So you've always kind of been in like those warm environments.
Yeah, it's been Vegas to Hawaii to San Diego. Yeah.
That's awesome.
By the way, can you hear the construction outside my apartment right now?
No.
Okay, cool. The noise cancellation on these headphones are good, but by the way, they're building like a whole condo complex right outside my window.
Oh my God. Is this where you make music in that room?
Yeah. So this is my home studio. I just got my own like custom studio monitors. This is like my desk, and it's a 1-bedroom apartment in Hollywood. Yeah.
That's awesome. But I feel your pain so much with construction next door. It's the worst.
Honestly, I don't really like make music during the day, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, I want to talk about that because I've seen you say before that you're a night owl, but just to wrap a bow on this really quick, I just moved into this, like my new house, but I was forced to move because next door they were building a condo too. And like my whole freaking office would shake and I couldn't get anything done.
It's literally so bad right now. Like, I mean, I actually wish I could turn on the mic so you guys can hear it because like it sounds like tractors are going in reverse forever. It's like
yeah.
So yeah,
you're
and
speaking to like you have no idea, nothing, and it's like you can't hear yourself think. But
no, it's so like honestly, like I try to like tune it out, but I can't. So I have to like. I'm so thankful that my bedroom's on the opposite side of the apartment. So.
Yeah, because like when you wake up first thing in the morning, that's not what you want to hear, especially if you're like up late nights in the studio making music.
Yeah, like honestly, I sleep through most things. I'm a really good sleeper. So.
Lovely.
Like I could, yeah. So I can like, I definitely can like sleep on airplanes or like just like in general with noise. But this has been like the first time I'm like, oh my god, I don't know if I can handle this.
Yeah.
But
It's so real. I mean, that's the pitfalls of like when you're living in, California, like, I live in Chicago. I mean, you're just it's like you have to deal with it, There's ups and downs.
yeah, it was funny when I first got this apartment. I was like, oh look, like there's an open lot. It's Hollywood nature. Now I know that's not Hollywood nature. It's going to be built. So,
Yeah, you can
anyways,
almost guarantee, right, that like there's not going to be any nature in
They
the
actually offered us a free months of rent to sign another 12-month lease, and I feel like they did that because the
Mhm.
construction. But anyways,
You see through their game. Anyway, okay, on to higher vibrational things, not construction. So, I've read about you that you're like a night owl, that you like making your music in the nighttime. From one creative to another, I always like to hear about people's processes because I've kind of gone back and forth. I used to be a night owl, now I'm like an early riser. So why is like your music making and your creativity sessions, why is that happening at night for you?
so like I've always just been more activated in general at nighttime. I don't really know like if there's like a discrete reason for it, but it's like I always like remember in high school I would like stay up until like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Writing my journals, writing songs, or just like doing something, watching Family Guy or something like, like TV or whatever. And like when I was in college, I did the same thing. And then when I graduated college, I still kept the same thing. So at this point, I'm like, I think I've just always been this way. Like, I feel like at nighttime, it's like a peace of mind where like there's no expectations of you. Like people aren't asking anything of you. I know I'm not going to get any like emails or like anything like intense that I need to like deal with like right away, So also, I think that at a certain point, at nighttime, I feel like more in tune with my kind of like dream state. Like I like being a little bit tired. Like I tend to like find like my best like melodies or like cool like song ideas at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. or something like that. Like it's like I'm
Yeah.
definitely like on a weird sleep schedule. One of my friends called it Mars time.
That's a good name for a song.
Mars time. Yeah.
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 I love that. So, okay, so what the scientific term I've heard for it is called theta state. It's like when your brain is in like this weird, like hanging in the fold, like between sleep and awake. And
Yeah.
that's super cool. And like they say that that's when like you can manifest the most and do the craziest things because you're like in this almost like trance. And I know that if you've ever seen those like sound deprivation tanks, like
Totally.
where you go
Yeah.
float, like a lot of people tend to like get creative there. So it's kind of like the same thing. Like nobody's bothering you, nobody's awake.
Yeah. It's a I think it's like a really like just like personal like moment. I know Salvador Dali like would like be like on the brink of sleep and then start painting or something like that.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of artists that have like used like different like sleep periods to like, sorry, that's so loud, to have their like creativity. I'm also like very sensitive to sound, so when I hear stuff like that, I'm like it like really does distract me. But anyways, for me, I think that like not everybody can like live and like kind of like this like alternative reality where there's like the only real reason I need to like wake up or go to bed is because I have a show,
Hmm.
like or I have a plane flight. I do run like a party on Tuesday nights, but that's about it. So like I have like very little obligations for 24 hours, so I get to like really like dive into my own kind of rhythm. And I think that like it's not necessarily for everybody. I definitely can't communicate with some people because of it. Sometimes people like question or like why are you like, one of my friends is always like, go to bed and then like wake up because I'm like sleeping until 5 or 6 or something, and then they're like wake up, and I'm like, well, you're telling me to go to bed and then you're also telling me to wake up, and I'm like, at the end of the day I get to sleep a lot. So it's just kind of like this like creative like I feel like I'm getting like a natural like rhythm with my own like whatever I need to do, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's one of the most beautiful things about being an artist or an entrepreneur is you kind of get to design your own life. Like you get to decide this is how I'm going to run my shit. As I'm going to run my production, like my sleep.
Yeah, also like taking the authority too, like just like understanding that like the way like I like worked really really hard to be able to run my own sleep. And it really did come down to, like, I do music for a lot of different reasons, but I also specifically was looking for a career that allowed me to not have to wake up to an alarm every day.
Yeah, or a construction noise.
Or construction. But yeah, now I have like a beeping. Yeah. So
Yeah, no, that's so real. So okay, I want to take a couple steps back because when I first interviewed you at EDC, we talked about your origin story for your name because
yeah.
I love your name. It's like so perfect for you. So tell the listeners of this show where Speaker Honey came from.
Yay. Okay. So I was going to school on the Big Island of Hawaii in Hilo, and I was studying anthropology and philosophy. It was like the first time I was actually like really interested in school because culture and thought. I finally got to study things that were like interesting to me and like thought provoking or whatever. And in Hawaiian culture, names are not just given. It's like something that's like natural to that thing, you know? So it's like, it's not just like you just like choose a name. It's like something that like makes sense, for that moment. And I was like about to graduate in 6 months, and I was really thinking about what I was going to do. Like, people were asking me, are you going to do an internship? Are you going to go get like a master's degree? Are you going to go become a teacher, whatever? And I realized I was like music and art are like the main things out of all the things I've been studying. Like, music and art is like a true way to like really impact like people without telling them what to do. And so I realized I was like, I'm going to pursue my music like full time. Like, and I started telling people, I was like, yeah, I'm actually going to, like, when I graduate, I'm going to pursue my music. And I knew I needed a name. And one day I was smoking a blunt with my homies that were, there was like a house full of like 8 college students, and we were like smoking outside, like next to the like campus. And one of the students, like one of my friends, came up with this huge jar of honey, and he was like, please, like, take some of this honey. We had to evacuate a beehive on campus. And I was like, oh, cool, like honey. There's like honeycombs, like crystalline, like beautiful honey. And I was like eating the honey. I was like, this is some of the best honey I've ever tasted. He's like, yeah, we had to evacuate a beehive inside a speaker cabinet inside like the main like center campus. And I was like, oh, it's like the vibrations, it's the frequency, it's speaker honey. And I was like, wait, it's speaker honey. And I was like, this is perfect. And like I went on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, got speakerhoney.com, the website, everything. Yeah. And it was just like not existent. And so I am Speaker Honey now. And it just makes a lot of sense just because like growing up, my dad made speaker cabinets and stuff. Like now I'm building speakers as well. Like, so it's just kind of like all flows together. Yeah.
So cool. And it was so smart of you to grab the website right away. Like, especially like what college kid thinks of that? That was so smart.
Yeah, I think like growing up like on the West Coast and stuff, like I was used to like Reddit and like MySpace and stuff like that. And I had deeply thought about my project. So like I really formulated my project when I was like 25, 26. So a lot of people like come into their music careers like early, like some people start later. When I started mine, I really like had like deeply thought about it at that point. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I just like rushed into it at 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so talk to me about techno because like did you wake up one day and say I'm going to be this amazing techno artist? How did you manifest that from, coming from school in Hawaii?
Yeah, it was interesting because I had actually like I knew about techno, but like my main influences were more like electro, like trip hoppy stuff, like indie rock, like rock and roll, like progressive rock, whatever, like prog rock. And when I decided, like after I got the name, so I think like a name becomes like a vehicle. Like once I got the name, then it became like, okay, yeah, I'm actually doing this. So I went back to Vegas where my mom lived, and at that time I met some friends that were DJing, and they had like DJ decks at the house, like in the living room, just like constantly going back to back. And I was just like hula hooping and just like in the background. And then one day I was like, wait, why am I not like, I want to try this. I should try to DJ. And the tracks that like attracted to me were techno tracks. So like my first ever like DJ moments were DJing techno, and I just was obsessed at that point. And like that's actually what changed my style too, because hadn't really known like the DJ structure or like techno structure or any like it like really like shifted my whole production process at that point because like I had never really made techno, but I had like techno elements, but like it was really just like because I love DJing techno. Like, yeah.
That's awesome. And I like what you said about the name kind of bringing the project to life. I think there's a lot of power in a name, like you're saying. This podcast, for example, naming it made it real. Elevated frequencies. That's kind of I was like,
Yeah.
now I'm living up to the name, right? It kind of gives you something to
Yes.
aspire to.
Yeah, well, like I mean, like I think that words are sacred. Words are important. It's really like other cultures take a lot of like significance in like certain words and certain sayings, and I feel like in our modern day, like I'm on the West Coast in America, whatever, people tend to just say things without really realizing like the weight to it, you know. So like I think that like it's really important to recognize like I always tell people like if you're gonna start like something like to like write it down or think about like the name or think about what it is because once that word comes then all of a sudden you have like a structure to develop it and you have like a house for it and it can grow. It's kind of like getting a pot or whatever.
Okay, writing things down, huge to me. I have this or any notebook on my desk at all times. I write everything down. It's
I
like
love
the first thing I
that.
do in the
Yay.
morning. Are you somebody who's like, do you like to do lists? What's your thing?
So I'm like a massive journaler. I have like journals since I was like 12, 13. Like I have like a massive stack of journals. I journal every day. Like I write like my ideas. I write song lyrics. I don't really write what happens. I don't really write down things like about my personal life. I think it started when I was like 13. I remember like writing about like something that happened and then like looking back at it and being like kind of embarrassed and being like this seems like dumb. So that I just like started writing about like conceptual like thoughts and stuff and like I think that's what led into the philosophy and like things like that and yeah, I think that like writing is a really special practice just because like you're always having a communication with other people and there's like another expectation with reality in general, but like when you're writing with yourself you can like just like have that moment and there's like very few times like during the day that I get that besides like just writing. So yeah.
Yeah, and especially now, I mean, and no shit, like if you want to write stuff down on your phone, that's fine. But I think it's something's very special about putting pen to paper because
Oh,
it's
totally.
like a
Yeah.
lost art. Like we don't do that really anymore.
Yeah, it's funny because I write in like a hybrid cursive, like so I kind of write like in cursive, but then sometimes it's not, and it's funny because like I've actually had like recently someone say like, "Oh, I can't read. Like, what is that?" And I was like, "Whoa, like cursive's kind of dying, you know," and
Hmm.
like but for me, like I just think like physically writing something down, it's just like someone once told me that it's like the chi energy like from like your brain to like the paper that like it's like you're like actually like releasing something versus like when you're like on your phone like you're not really like actually interacting, like you're like
Hmm.
doing half the battle, you know what I mean? And I feel like typing on
Yeah.
the phone too is just like sometimes like I've been using like the voice memo thing now, which is kind of sick, but in general like I think that it doesn't compare and also it can get deleted, like I don't know, like it's just not
Yeah.
the
And you're
same.
distracted. You could be
And
distracted, notifications coming in. It's not the same.
it's not the same, yeah. And also, it just like feels like I don't know. I feel like I'll write down like song lyrics in my phone or like things that I want to like develop further, like for like my music. But like when it comes to just like free flow thought, I don't think I have like a flow like in my notes, you know?
Yeah. You're just brain
Yeah,
dumping. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Like I feel like what I like to write about, like I have one journal that's like just like positive like serendipity moments. That's really cool.
Aw.
So it's like just like all the good things that happen. So whenever I'm feeling weird or like down, like I just like look through the things that happen. I'm like instantly feel better.
I'm stealing that idea.
Yeah,
That's
it's a really
such
good.
a good idea. That's so
Yeah.
cool. I love that. I love that because that helps you practice gratitude too,
Exactly. Yeah, and like it also helps you remember like there's like so many like special things that happen that like line up, and I think the more that you like tune into that, the more I guess you find like abundance in like your own like spiritual growth or like career growth or like what you need to do, because a lot of people like don't really know what they're doing. I still kind of don't know what I'm doing. I almost know what I'm doing, but yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, writing down all those things kind of helps you connect the dots, and it makes you realize that, it provides the through line between like your amazing story. And the gratitude thing is so important for, like you said, achieving even more abundance. You have to be grateful for what you already have. And sometimes, like when life is tough, you can forget about those things very easily. So,
Hmm.
I'm big on like celebrating little things every day and making every day special, whether it's like a latte that's like way too expensive, or like, you
I'm
know,
so with you.
because it's about that's what life's about. You know, like
Yeah.
like I do stupid stuff, like I hold my dog up to watch the sunset with me, and I don't know if she has any fucking clue what's going on, but I'm like, this is special to me, you know? And those are life's important moments.
I'm sure your dog knows. I also have a dog. Her name's Mochi, but she's not here right now. But I love Mochi so much, and I can tell like she like really appreciates when like first of all she basically goes everywhere with me besides tour. But like I know that she recognizes like when like I'm trying to like show her something or like experience something with her, and like I think like animals are like definitely like I don't know. It's my first dog, so
It's mine too. It's mine too.
oh
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah, it's a really special bond. And I think in your case, when it comes to music too, you can speak about this better than I can, but there's got to be those special moments when you are DJing for a crowd and you look out and maybe you see something. Do you feel that way? Are you ever like when you're up on stage, are you like pinch me, like I can't believe this is real?
Yeah, it's crazy because like I like heavily get the chills like sometimes it's basically I don't like prepare like I prepare my sets like my set list um but like when I'm actually like on the decks and in front of the crowd I'm really like paying attention to like what's the environment around me, and I'm taking risks, and there's been times where certain song combinations I've never done before, like just like work out. And there's like one moment where like everything's like in key. And then you just like see like not just one person, but like multiple people like having that moment. And I know like on the opposite end what that feels like. And it just like gives me this like huge, like, I don't know, it's like chill sensation, you know? Yeah. I'm very attentive to that. That's actually like, it gives me so much energy because like I could literally DJ for like 12 hours.
That's amazing. That's how you know
Yeah.
you're in the right profession.
Oh yeah, I think I definitely chose the right profession. Yeah.
That's that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, being on the other side, like, as a fan, as a listener, hearing, and I've been to your set before in Chicago, and just as a music fan in general, those moments that you're talking about are things that we talk about with our loved ones or online the next day. We're like,
Oh,
oh my God, that moment when, Speaker Honey did this, or like played this song, or, looking at your Shazam the next morning and being like, oh my God, I got it. Those are the things that make this music and this community so special.
yeah.
It's just so much more intimate too. Like, no shade to any other type of music, but like there's this intimacy that I think makes it that much better.
Well, that's what I love about like kind of like techno, like electro, like kind of like this like kind of like progressive like hypnotic sound, because it's not really like telling you to feel like a certain way. I mean, like I love like all different genres of music, but like I feel like specifically I look for those tracks that just like make you feel like excited and stoked without like predisposition of like too much like emotion. Like I really don't like to do like too like I don't know how to say it, like moody, moody vocals or
Mhm.
like stuff like that.
Mhm.
And like that music's great and there's a place and a time for that, but I like peak time fucking like let's fucking go, like party, like let's feel great, like this is the moment of our lives, like this is why we're here kind of moment. So yeah.
Yeah. And it provides that release that so many of us like desperately need after, a lot of people are going to their 9 to 5s and masking, and then they get to go to these shows and be themselves, and we need that release.
Totally, like a safe space, and like also just like a free, like a like a free zone. I've had like a lot of really like heart touching like stories of like people. Like one time, like there was this like nurse that came up to me after my set, and she was like, "Thank you so much." Like I had like the worst day in the ER, stuff like that. Or like people that say like, I just like went through like a lot of like family stuff and being here with you right now, or I lost somebody. Like there's like it gets heavy, even though we're like all partying and having a good time. Like we're actually like definitely like healing together. And like I think that like recognizing that there's that aspect as well to like what like we're providing like as artists. So like I think about that stuff. That's also why I don't like to get too moody, because I like to like be like, let's go, like we're
Yeah.
live.
Yeah, no, and I know the nurse that you spoke about, and so many of us appreciate that having somebody be able to just turn our bad week upside down into something positive.
Yeah.
It's why we attend these things. Like people don't go like, I'm sorry, but you don't go to like top 40 clubs where they're playing like what they play on the radio because you just love that music so much. There's a different vibe for those types of places versus the shows that you're playing, where it's like we are here for a very specific reason, and everybody might come from there's nurses, there's people who might they're truck drivers, whatever their profession is, but they're all there for the
Yeah.
collective reason to like release and just find a little bit of joy.
Yes, I like what I love too is like when like somebody that has not like, so I have some friends that or like people that I've met that are like, oh, I don't like techno. And I'm like, you have to go to an like the right event, because I think that like there's a space and place for like certain genres of music, right? And someone might have been playing like 145 like hard groove techno at like a beach
Yeah.
party or something, or in like someone's living room at like 4 p.m. and they're like, I hate this. But then
Yeah.
when you actually experience like the real moment, and what the artist is giving, it's not just the genre. I've had like a lot of like turnaround moments where they're like, I actually kind of like techno. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's good. And I'm not just playing techno. Like I describe it as like techno electro trance, just because that's the best way I can describe it. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the genre like doesn't really make sense, but like this like the avenue I'm kind of like going with my new productions is like has a little bit elements of like dub, like I like I said, like trip hoppy stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like go a little bit like playful and like not
Mm-hmm.
like super just like massive breakdown and then just like
Yeah.
beats all the time. But I did just get a Digitone beat machine. It's like a polyphonic synthesizer, so I am going to start trying to make my live set. So maybe I might do hard groove.
That's cool. That's so freaking cool. You're obviously so creative, and you pull from so many different inspirations, and that doesn't just come across in your music, it comes across in your style too.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the way like every single picture of you on Instagram, you're wearing something completely different, which is like an amazing accomplishment. Like how do
Oh.
you pull that off?
Honestly, like I feel like I think like I definitely like love fashion. I've always loved fashion, but I like to feel like creative with my outfits. And most of my stuff like is like small fashion brands or like
Mm,
my friend's stuff. Like this is my friend's
yeah.
hat. I got this shirt for free. It says Oktoberfest 2020. Like
I say six
this.
signs apart.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. It says 6 signs apart.
It's awesome.
um, this necklace was gifted to me at a festival. Actually, no, it was at when I was in Denver. Yeah. So like a lot of my stuff, it's funny, like organically kind of just like develops, and then I like put it together. But yeah, I don't know. I've always just like really enjoyed like dressing up, just because like I feel like when I like wear like a interesting outfit, it gives like a certain like energy to the room, and people like interact like differently because like I'm like looking cute or whatever. And then like I've never really been a model, but then I've just like learned to be a model, and I've been having a really good time with it. So yeah.
That's awesome. And I saw like I go on TikTok way too much, but on TikTok I saw this video the other day where it's like don't underestimate the power of dressing up in a way that makes you feel good like all the time, because when you feel your best, like you're able to produce better results for whatever it is you're doing. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's so true. Like I'll notice a difference between when I like am going out wearing something I really love. It's a cool fit that I put a lot of thought into versus just like, and to be honest, most of the time, like I'm in sweatpants right now. Like I wear, I
Well,
wear
yeah,
sweatpants a
I'm
lot.
like half dressed. I'm like
Yeah.
literally wearing the weirdest outfit.
Yeah,
But
yeah. But it's all about being comfy in the home. But I do notice that I'm like more on my A game when I feel really put together in something that represents me.
totally. Like, and like, I think that like, as an artist as well, I've really like sat like deep into like what speaker honey is like a sound, but it's also like a style and it's a vibe. Like, it's just like a frequency, you know? So like, I think that like, at this point, I'm just basically like living and breathing like my artist project. Like, in general, I don't really like have, I guess I have some days where I like wear like random things, but I've kind of gotten rid of all the things in my closet that are like not my vibe. Like, I just like made an intention to do that. And by my vibe, I mean like either something my friends made or like something green or something black. So, yeah.
Valid. That's awesome. And it's got to feel really good to be in alignment, like all across the board with your music project, the way you're presenting yourself to the world, fashion wise, aesthetically, like having that level of authenticity is really something special that not everybody can say they
Thank
have.
you. Yeah, well, I think that like someone once told me like not everybody's like a lighthouse, but if you do have like the light, like it's important to shine it. And like I think that like following, like some people like ask like what direction should I go, like, and I think just like following like your authentic, like what you really like not really focusing on what other people are doing, but just like tuning in with like what's your personal taste, and having like strength in that, and being like trusting in yourself is like a really important like lesson. And not everybody like needs to do that. I know everybody's like different flavors, and there's like different types of people all throughout the world that make the world go round, whatever. But like I think that like if you feel like you want to like do like pursue like more art, or like be more expressive, just like trusting yourself and not looking at other people is like the most important thing. Because like if you start like looking at everything else, you're just going to get distracted and not know like where's up or down or whatever. So yeah.
I like that a lot. Be a lighthouse. That's really
Yeah.
cool. If you're a lighthouse, be a lighthouse. I love that. Well, I've taken up a lot of your time, but before we wrap up, tell people where they can find you online, music projects coming out, let them know.
Yeah. Okay. So everything's at Speaker Honey. It's spelled SpeakerHoney, not honey. And then you can find all my music on Spotify, Apple Music. I have some music videos you should check out on YouTube. I'm going to be DJing, headlining at Area 15 this Thursday in Vegas for EDC week. And then I'm playing at Seismic Dance Event in Austin on Saturday. And then you might find me at EDC on Sunday. So.
Ooh, exciting. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was so great to talk to you as always.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So when I had that conversation with Speaker Honey, she was gearing up to go to EDC Vegas. She crushed per usual. She's always playing shows. So if you haven't seen her live yet, make sure to add that to your summer rotation. You will not regret it. I love that I am meeting so many journalers in the house and techno space, because it is proof that this shit, it works. Okay, it works and it's free. You can literally go write on a rock outside of your house, you know, if you don't want to buy a journal from the $1.25 store. And I love that Speaker Honey has a separate journal for all of her serendipitous moments. It's like a little book of happy. It's kind of like a scrapbook almost, but with words. I think that's so genius. There's just something so powerful about writing down your thoughts with a pen or pencil. So I know I preach this a lot, and I've probably said this in almost every episode, but if you haven't tried it already, you really should. Anyways, if you want to support the show, subscribing on YouTube is the best way to do so. I also have audio versions of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So if you prefer that, you can find me there at Elevated Frequencies. As always, we drop episodes every Thursday, so I will see you next week.